Tonight, Trump's Russia bombshell.
Russia, if you're listening.
An extraordinary plea urging a foreign power to commit espionage against Hillary Clinton. Tonight, condemnation and alarm on both sides of the aisle. Star power, Bill Clinton, now Obama and Biden coming out swinging in defense of Hillary Clinton. What will Obama say tonight about Donald Trump? Set free the gunman who tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan to impress Jodie Foster. John Hinckley Jr. ordered released after 35 years. Outrage from Reagan family and friends. And dropping all charges for all remaining police officers awaiting trial on the death of Freddie Gray. A stunning end in a tragedy that plunged the city of Baltimore into turmoil. Nightly News begins right now.
The Democratic National Convention. This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt, reporting tonight from Philadelphia.
Good evening. Donald Trump's attempt to steal away some of the spotlight from what's going on here with the Democrats in their convention may have backfired today. He sparked some serious new controversy when at a freewheeling news conference in Florida, he looked into TV cameras and invited a foreign power, Russia, to cyber snoop on Hillary Clinton and expose her emails. Tonight, the Clinton campaign is accusing Trump of essentially encouraging foreign espionage against an American. Now, as it happens, the Trump remarks fold neatly into the Democrats' theme here tonight as President Obama prepares to address the convention about the gravity of being commander-in-chief. NBC's Katie Tur has details.
Why should I tell Putin what to do?
Donald Trump sending shockwaves around the world today, encouraging a foreign government to hack into Hillary Clinton's email.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing.
Trump initially asked about emails leaked from the Democratic Party and believed to be hacked by the Russians, instead pivoted to personal deleted emails from Clinton's private server.
Do you have any qualms about asking a foreign government, Russia, China, anybody, to interfere, to hack into a system of anybody's in this country?
It's up to the president. Let the president talk to them.
Does that not give you pause?
No, it gives me no pause. If they have, they have them. We might as well find. Hey, you know what gives me more pause? That a person in our government, crooked Hillary Clinton. Here's what gives me more. Be quiet. I know you want to, save her. That a person in our government, Katie, would delete or get rid of 33,000 emails. That gives me a big problem.
I just find it deeply troubling that any American, let alone running for president of the United States, would encourage Russian espionage. That's just is unprecedented.
While Trump was speaking, his campaign blasted out a statement from his running mate, Governor Mike Pence, contradicting him, saying if Russia was interfering, I can assure you both parties and the United States government will ensure there are serious consequences. But the Republican nominee wasn't swayed, tweeting, if Russia or any other country or person has Hillary Clinton's 33,000 illegally deleted emails, perhaps they should share them with the FBI. The FBI investigated Clinton's personal server and recommended that no charges be filed. Trump's invitation to spy on an American politician drawing immediate rebukes. Former CIA Director Michael Hayden, who was appointed by George W. Bush, telling NBC News he's either inviting a foreign intelligence service to steal sensitive U.S. government information or inviting a foreign intelligence service to violate the privacy of an individual. Perhaps he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Privately, Republicans think that what he did today was reprehensible, basically calling on the Russians to intervene and hack into an American entity.
On Friday, Trump will get his first national security briefing, information the candidate admits might change his opinions. Buried in all this today, Donald Trump told me that given the rise of ISIS, he would renegotiate the Geneva Convention or the rules protecting prisoners of war and civilians, saying that they should include enhanced interrogation or what many call torture. Lester?
Katie Tur in Miami starting us off. Thanks. And Trump may have grabbed the headlines from Democrats today, but they'll try to make him pay for it here tonight. His Russia comment offering new lines of attack as President Obama, Vice President Biden, and Vice Presidential nominee Tim Kaine take the stage behind me on a night of high-wattage star power to make the case for Hillary Clinton. NBC News getting a preview of what they'll say. Here's NBC's Andrea Mitchell.
Russia.
Donald Trump's latest bombshell landing at the Democratic convention, just as Hillary Clinton's heaviest hitters and tonight's headliners are blasting him as unfit to be commander-in-chief. The president with Savannah Guthrie.
Set aside the nuclear codes. What I think is scary is a president who doesn't know their stuff and doesn't seem to have an interest in learning what they don't know.
The vice president on Morning Joe.
Donald Trump knows nothing about foreign policy.
And Clinton's running mate.
Donald Trump is a one-man wrecking crew.
The fiery reaction to Trump tonight from Democrats.
Yeah, well, that borders on treason.
Clinton's aides believe this latest firestorm, while distracting, helps make their case.
Donald Trump, who is seeking to become our commander-in-chief, is now openly inviting Russia to engage in cyber attacks against the United States. This is a bridge too far.
Tonight, it's Tim Kaine's big debut in prime time. But the most critical moment when the commander-in-chief takes the stage.
After 2 days, the campaign believes they've unified the party here in the hall. Now it's President Obama's job to persuade a skeptical public at home that Hillary Clinton can be trusted.
Last night with Bill Clinton, it was all personal.
In the spring of 1971, I met a girl.
Trying to portray Hillary Clinton, the ultimate Washington insider, as a candidate of change.
She's the best darn change maker I ever met in my entire life.
The biggest change of all, her historic role as the first woman to shatter the ultimate political glass ceiling. But tonight, a new complication to their sales pitch on trust. A stumble over the sticky trade issue, the holy grail to Bernie Sanders supporters. When asked if Clinton would flip-flop on her opposition to the TPP trade deal, Clinton pal, Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe said, yes, listen, she was in support of it.
They think you're sending a signal that Hillary Clinton will compromise away her commitments if she's
There
elected.
are things in the agreement she does not agree with. Unless she can get those to the point that she's happy with it, she's not going to support it. Plain and simple.
One thing to watch for tonight is how is Tim Kaine received in this big hall in his first debut, with many progressives arguing that he is simply too conservative on key issues. Lester?
Andrew Mitchell on the convention floor. Thanks. Let's bring in our primetime team, Chuck Todd and Savannah Guthrie. 2 questions for you, Chuck. Is this a slow pitch? Did Trump offer a slow pitch to speakers here tonight? And how does this play outside the hall?
Look, I think he did. I think you're going to hear a lot of Russia remarks tonight and probably some revised remarks. Vice President Biden, we're going to hear from Leon Panetta, former head of the CIA. But look, on the outside here, I have to say, what surprised me today is the lack of collective Republican outrage. There's been some, Paul Ryan and Mike Pence, and maybe it's perhaps that Trump conflated what Russia has done with Hillary Clinton and her email issue, and he conflated it very cleverly. But perhaps Republicans are afraid to speak out on this because it looks like they're helping Hillary Clinton because it looks too partisan. But this is a violation of the sovereignty of this country. And the idea that there is even tacit encouragement, but this was public encouragement of Russia doing this. I guess I am just floored by the lack of bipartisan outrage. There is some, but I'm surprised that they haven't dropped the hammer, frankly, and sickle on him today.
Let's pick up on that theme of the speakers tonight. Barack Obama is speaking, and Savannah, you've got a little insight into what he's going to say. Is he going to mention Donald Trump?
He will mention it. And remember, early on, it seemed like the president went out of his way to not even mention his name. He'll call him out tonight by name multiple times. He's going to take him on commander-in-chief grounds, on this notion that Trump considers himself a man of the working people, and also the style of governing that Trump describes that the White House views as authoritarian, although the president won't use those words. I'm also told that this will ultimately be a hopeful, patriotic, optimistic speech, while the president will acknowledge the fears and anxieties people have. No question they want to have a clear contrast between Trump's nomination acceptance speech last Thursday and what our president will say. And of course, he has to pass the baton to Hillary Clinton and make that positive case for her.
And we'll hear the president in the 10 to 11 o'clock Eastern hour. We'll see both of you for our primetime coverage. Thank you. A federal judge ruled today that John Hinckley Jr., the would-be assassin who shot President Reagan back in 1981 in a twisted attempt to impress actress Jodie Foster, can be released full-time from a mental hospital after 35 years. That decision not sitting well with the Reagan family, as our justice correspondent Pete Williams tells us.
A federal judge says 35 years after John Hinckley Jr. shot President Reagan and 3 others outside a Washington hotel, he's not the profoundly disturbed 25-year-old he was then, and now at age 61 is no longer a danger to himself or others. Starting next month, Hinckley can stop living at the mental hospital where he's been treated since 1982, when a jury found him not guilty by reason of insanity, and live full-time with his 90-year-old mother at a gated community in Williamsburg, Virginia, 2 hours south of Washington, where he's been staying up to 17 days a month. Reagan's oldest son, Michael, tweeted today that his father forgave Hinckley, adding, "Maybe we should do the same." But daughter Patty Davis said, forgiving someone doesn't mean you let them loose in Virginia to pursue whatever dark agendas they may still hold dear. Some of the Hinckley neighbors in Williamsburg say they're worried.
To bring him here and put him in under the care of his 90-year-old mother seems to be a pretty foolish decision.
The judge ordered Hinckley to continue psychiatric treatment, get a job or do volunteer work, stay away from government officials, and have no contact with members of the Reagan family or Jodie Foster, the actress he was trying to impress by shooting President Reagan. If all goes well, Hinckley will be allowed to start living on his own a year from now. But the man who prosecuted Hinckley says that should never happen.
I don't think that anybody who tries to nullify a national election with a bullet should ever be walking free, no matter what their mental state.
Hinckley's lawyer says the ruling that he's no longer dangerous should reassure people that the mental health system and the courts worked well. Pete Williams, NBC News at federal court in Washington.
Turning overseas now, where Pope Francis is warning, quote, the world is at war after a Catholic priest was murdered at a church in France by 2 terrorists pledging allegiance to ISIS. While the Pope refused to characterize this war as a religious one, he did add that all religions desire peace. His comments came as he traveled to Poland for a World Youth Day under heavy security. Back home, a dramatic rescue on the West Coast as hikers trapped for days by a massive wildfire were finally found and evacuated. Crews are intensifying the battle against the flames spreading in California. But as our Gotti Schwartz tells us, the fight has turned deadly for those on the front lines.
A tragic day along Northern California's fire lines after a bulldozer driver is overtaken by flames. The dozer operator was clearing containment lines along the so-called Soberones fire, a blaze that has already destroyed 22 homes raging out of control near California's famed Big Sur forest. Hours before the dozer operator was killed, other dozer crews rescued 8 hikers who had been lost in the backwoods.
Thank you, sir.
For at least 4 days, they wandered through smoke.
They were really hungry and thirsty when we found them.
For firefighters, clearing those lines is critical. The sand fire burning near Los Angeles now nearly halfway contained. Thousands of people and animals allowed back, but for some, utter destruction.
The history that's lost today is a tragedy.
The loss even more painful for Jan Sanborn, who has no insurance. Her husband, Lauren Janes, has Alzheimer's. At 84, he can't remember his years as one of Hollywood's leading stunt doubles, doing the dangerous work of silver screen icons.
He was Steve McQueen's double his whole career. He was a stuntman for 50 years, founded the Stuntmen's Association.
Now, a lifetime of awards pictures his home and memories taken by the flames. Gotti Schwartz, NBC News, Santa Clarita, California.
There's a lot more to tell you about as we continue tonight. The major new development in a case that sparked riots and looting in the streets. A young man fatally injured. 6 police officers charged. We'll tell you why it now appears no one will do any jail time for it. Also, it's taken Apple nearly a decade to get here. The big, with a B, milestone that the iPhone just passed. There were dramatic developments today involving the Baltimore police officers accused of causing a fatal injury to Freddie Gray, a man who died in their custody last year. After failing to secure guilty verdicts against 4 officers already brought to trial, prosecutors today dropped the charges against the remaining officers as the prosecutor suggested the legal system worked against her. NBC's Tom Costello is in Baltimore tonight.
Caught on video last year, the arrest of 25-year-old Freddie Gray pushed into the back of a police van. Just an hour later, he was rushed to the hospital with a broken neck. His death touched off weeks of unrest and riots in Baltimore and a federal investigation into police brutality.
We have probable cause to file criminal charges.
The newly elected Baltimore prosecutor quickly filed charges against 6 officers. But after 4 trials and no convictions, today the prosecutor dropped the remaining cases while accusing police and the justice system of undermining her case.
There was a reluctance and an obvious bias that was consistently exemplified not by the entire Baltimore Police Department, but by individuals within the Baltimore Police Department at every stage of the investigation.
But many legal experts have long questioned the charges.
I feel like the prosecutors were overreaching from day one, and she was as indignant and defiant at the end as she was in the beginning of this case.
The case helped energize the national Black Lives Matter movement, with demonstrations in cities across the country and a group of mothers taking the stage at the DNC last night.
This is about saving our children.
Today, NAACP leaders suggested the case had led to changes in police procedures.
Because of what she did and the state's attorney in bringing charges, now we have cameras in the van.
In a peaceful Baltimore today, mixed reaction.
She prosecuted them, or she brought charges up maybe to stop the riots.
I don't think anything's really going to change in this city. We've been the same way for many years.
Tonight, the police commissioner and the police union both insist that their investigation was thorough and transparent. Those 6 officers still getting paid could return to duty once an internal investigation is complete. Lester?
Tom Costello in Baltimore, thank you. We're back in a moment with rare, awe-inspiring images of a natural wonder taken over 200 miles above the Earth. It's quite a sight. Tonight, Apple is celebrating 1 billion served, 1 billion iPhones, that is. The company says it crossed the milestone sometime last week, though the company hasn't said who bought it or where. The iPhone debuted back in 2007. That's less than a decade ago, but it's hard to imagine a time without it. We're getting an extraordinary look at a spectacular show from space. It's a new video captured what the green auroras above the Earth look like from the International Space Station. An astronaut posted on social media this amazing time-lapse that captured the dancing lights from over 200 miles above our planet. You may think you've seen every basketball trick shot in the book, but you've never seen one quite like this. Harlem Globetrotter Bull Bullard raised 110 feet in the air over the New Jersey boardwalk. Then he drops, watch this, going 60 miles an hour. Whoa, firing this epic jump shot and sinks it right into the basket below. Amazing, even by Globetrotter standards. That's pretty cool. When we come back, big stakes for President Obama, what he has on the line tonight when he takes the stage here at the DNC. Looking across the convention floor, day 3 well underway here at the Democratic Convention. And finally tonight, it is a night about making the case for Hillary Clinton, but it's also about coming full circle for President Obama trying to cement his legacy. 12 years ago tonight, it was that he first addressed the Democratic Convention back in 2004, electrifying the party and causing many pundits to predict, correctly it turned out, that he would be president someday. What few could predict is that it would happen just 4 years later. Here's NBC's Kristen Welker.
It was 12 years ago to the day that a 42-year-old Senate candidate stole the spotlight at the Democratic National Convention.
There is not a black America and a white America and Latino America and Asian America. There's the United States of America.
Poignant memories for a president now poised to leave office, telling Savannah Guthrie.
I can't believe I got elected to anything at that point. I looked like I just got out of college.
Out of many, one.
He's electrified the party faithful.
America, we cannot turn back.
At every convention since.
We are moving forward, America.
But there is perhaps no more critical speech than the one he'll deliver tonight for Hillary Clinton. This time, his legacy is also on the line.
So all the things he's fought for, more economic opportunity, more fairness, more tolerance in America, a smart, cooperative foreign policy, all these things are at stake.
Within his first year in office, he sparked controversy, reversing a number of George W. Bush's policies. And now Donald Trump is vowing to do the same on immigration and Obamacare.
Obamacare is a disaster. People are dying with it.
But it's also personal. Trump, one of the original backers of the birther movement.
He doesn't have a birth certificate, or he hasn't shown it.
The president turning that into a punchline.
No one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing?
Tonight, Mr. Obama won't be the first member of his family to take on Trump from this convention stage.
Don't let anyone ever tell you that this country isn't great. Pressure's on.
You know what? I'm not going to hit that bar.
As he tries to pass the torch of his presidency to another candidate who has also made history. Kristen Welker, NBC News, Philadelphia.
That is going to do it for us on this Wednesday night. I'm Lester Holt. I'll see you back here tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific for primetime coverage of the Democratic Convention. For all of us at NBC News, thank you for watching and good night from Philadelphia.